Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Developments in Ukraine. Russia is about to take over Selydove, enter the town, and I think it's going to be gone in a matter of days. I would say maybe hours. That's the first topic. Second one, freedom of speech in Latvia, European Union country, NATO member state. It just blocks websites. And this becomes an acceptable behavior in the West nowadays to block websites or speakers or whatever doesn't follow the narrative pushed to us by their operatives. Next topic. I made a video yesterday regarding an article stating that Brits trained 200 Ukrainian pilots on F-16s are ready to go. And I laughed at it now that there's no way for different reasons. And I have here someone from the New Voice of Ukraine, from Ukraine, an expert saying there's no way, or it's unlikely UK trained 200 Ukrainian pilots on F-16s. And one of the reasons is they don't operate F-16s. So I trained you to drive the Cadillac, but I don't own a Cadillac. All right, I mean, it's so baboonish. Next one. US's big theft. Steals some other country's money and then distributes the profits of that money, that assets, to whomever they want. Now that's theft, and I will explain why. I will put you in the circumstance and see if you would like it. All right, next one. Bill Gates enters the war of the billionaires. So when we talk about our democracy, defend our democracy, I think it's the democracy of the big interest with big money, and in this case, billionaires. The billionaires, Bill Gates donates unprecedented $50 million. $50 million. You know to whom? Oops, the cat is here. Brought me the food. Unbelievable. But Elon Musk donated some dozens of millions, and everybody was, oh my God, isn't that interference? Now we're going to find out that baboon, Epstein Island, Mr. Bill Gates, donated 50 million. Now, that's okay, but the other thing is not okay. Why? Because the other guys I disagree with, so that means I should ban them. This is the trend of the Western civilization nowadays. Right in your face. All right, let's go to the next one. BRICS is a statement of changing world order. I made a video before this one regarding the BRICS documents, statement, declaration. Go and see that one, what BRICS claims to be and how Russia knocked down, not knocked out, knocked down the US on a global stage. Why? Because those guys are thinking in centuries. These baboons here are thinking in election cycles, 4 years. That's all. Sorry, incompetence, weaselness, or simply, baboonish behavior, self-denial. So again, this is according to Dr. Jaishankar, the foreign minister of India, says BRICS is a statement of changing world order. 100% I agree with that, unfortunately for us. Pentagon explains its refusal to change missile rules for Ukraine. But it's exactly what I said forever. You know, the Russians said, if you do that, we're going to nuke you. And this guy said, oh, maybe, I don't know, the heroin buzz, euphoric high waned away. So I need the new, or something. That's the Pentagon. That's what happens over there. I've been there as a fly. So I know. Oh my God. So we're going to find out. And you know the reason? Let me give a little hint. If you've been watching my videos, you understand exactly what I've been claiming. Because the Ukrainians have their domestic drones that can do the job. They don't need our approval. There you have it, confirmation. Am I a genius? No, I think I was normal. Why? Once you understand the human nature, and you understand through observing and memorizing events and creating a pattern, you understand how someone, an entity which is formed out of human beings, will likely react with an accuracy of about, I would say, 90 to 95%. That's me. Did I make mistakes? Yeah, I was off. Yes, rarely. All right, next one. Poland. You remember Poland the Poles with the balls. They dropped their demand for World War II reparations from Germany. You know why? You know, Poland demanded $1.3 trillion reparations. The Germans said, no, auf Wiedersehen. We paid that in 1970 or 68, 72, something like this. So bye-bye. So Poland now changes their tune because the Germans said, niemals, auf Wiedersehen, see you never. So we're going to discuss that one. Pakistan expects to join BRICS in near future. Pakistan is an American Trojan horse. They have CIA bases and military advisor over there. Pakistan, I think, is a occupied country to a certain extent, and wants to join BRICS. Is going to switch sides? Well, let's see. We'll see. Maybe not switch sides. It wants to be like India, kind of in between, with both of you, with none of you, which is great. National interest, it should be the, India first, Pakistan first, USA first, Germany first, Romania first, for their nations, for Romania first for the Romanians, France first for the French, Germany first for the Germans, and so on. I think this is, now it's kind of like politically incorrect to even state a natural, normal, healthy feeling and reality. I mean, it's baboonish. You're like, oh, you know what? I'm from Chicago. I like Chicago Bulls, but no, not Chicago Bulls first. Let's say the Pistons, Detroit Pistons first. Let's play basketball, okay? But I mean, I can, but it's a little bit different. But I understand the thing. Moscow believes West pushing ex-Soviet state into war. I was again right. Not hard to figure things out. Now you can say, well, just because you parrot the same propaganda as Putin tells you every night on the phone. What are you wearing, baby doll? My nipples are hard. Okay, so just because I say I reach the same conclusion, it doesn't mean that I'm on their payroll. Maybe I am, but who knows? These guys are on me. They would know that. So Georgia, what did I say? Georgia is going to be a second front. They've been trying and still trying at the moment. I will discuss that one. And I'm going to show you the map of the Caucasus where Georgia is located to show you the geopolitical implications and opening a second front. Widening the Ukraine front with Romania, Poland, and probably the Baltic states being involved. Not Slovakia and Hungary, but the other baboons, yes sir. And opening a new front in Georgia. They're working hard. So let's see how the Russian troops enter eastern Selydove in Donetsk Oblast. This is according to the New Voice of Ukraine, October 23rd, 2024. Here it is. Russian forces have entered the city of Selydove in Donetsk Oblast. Bild journalist Julian Rybke reported on October 23rd. Rybke clarified that Ukraine's 15th National Guard Brigade Karadag has suffered fended-off Russian attacks for the past few weeks. The defense forces forced the Russians to attempt an encirclement that will happen from the north and south of Selydove. Let's see where this thing is. Here, these are the baboons on the Russian Sputnik, and they is right here. Selidovo is here. This is Pokrovsk. They didn't update their shit, but don't worry, we got this one. Not this. Where are you? Close. We don't want that. And here it is. Here is Selydove right here. This is the shitty situation for the Ukrainians. NATO. See, they already conquered almost half of it. So north and south, exactly what their build or said. Here is Pokrovsk. Here, things are going shitty for the Ukraine, for NATO. Let's put it this way. All these things will just go around. I'm going to show you a little bit more. Everywhere you see how these guys are advancing. Everywhere, right here. This is Shasir Yar. This is by Bakhmut, if you remember Bakhmut. It's a bad situation right here. Look at this big one. Everywhere is like little teeth going up, 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 and then you can encircle. Right here, Kupiansk. This is by Kupiansk, my friends. Kupiansk, this guy is going to be the same fate. All right, so let's go back to the article. At the same time, enemy forces continue blah, blah, blah. Next article, Russian forces enter Selydove in Donetsk Oblast. Military anal list. And they show us this map here, which is not the same as the one that I showed you, the other one which is better than this one. This is not a good one, but nevertheless, let's go to the third one. But I want to figure that out though. All right. So again, the same thing, Julian Robke. Next one. This is according to Reuters. Trustworthy, right? Russia making swift advance into East Ukraine town of Selydove, Russian media says. And Robke, how about Robke? No, he didn't say that. Capturing Selydove would pave the way for Russian defense on the key logistical hub of Pokrovsk, located about 20 kilometers, 12 miles from northwest Selydove. All right, that is where I showed you. Yeah, right here. This is Pokrovsk, but the Russians call it differently. Here is Selydove. So they're close. The enemy's defense crumbled suddenly, said Yuri Podolyaka, a prominent Ukrainian-born pro-Russian military blogger. Other pro-Russian bloggers gave similar accounts and said that the Russians has now in control of part of Selydove. All right, next one. Freedom of speech in Latvia. These are our allies. Latvia blocks 17 websites spreading Russian propaganda. Why do I agree with that? Let's say I'm in, I don't know, Zimbabwe, and I have over there a channel coming from Paraguay. And Paraguay, if they say they give us propaganda here in Zimbabwe where I live, and my government stops the propaganda, what the government declares propaganda, from another country talking about a different thing, let's say Paraguay and Uruguay being close, fighting one another. And me, I, in Zimbabwe, my government stops me from hearing their propaganda of a war that I have nothing to do with. Latvia has nothing to do with Ukraine. Nothing. They're not in NATO, not in the European Union, not even the neighbors. What do they? But they have orders. Now, my concern is this. First, they won't tell you what kind of websites. They will not define what propaganda means. I mean, CNN is full of propaganda when they tell you and they lie. And Fox News and all these guys. But hey, I'm guessing Latvia will not block them. But it's the right propaganda. So remember, my Latvian friends, as many I have or I don't, it's a problem with your freedom of speech. If the government decides what you can hear and what you can't hear because they determined that they will protect the narrative, you're not a free person. Someone else determines what can you listen to. You're not a free person. As a free person, I can go and fucking buy whatever I want. I can watch and I can listen to whomever lies me the greatest. I mean, we have, right, half of our population likes to be lied all the time. Yeah, baby doll, you look good. Look like crap. They like that way. But hey, somehow that kind of propaganda is acceptable to keep the relationship going. When you say, oh my God, they don't match. What the fuck have you done with your hair, baby? Don't I look great? Never look better in your life. Right? But we're supposed to do this. Isn't that lying? Isn't that propaganda? And say, well, soft lies, white lies, little lies, not big lies. That's exactly, put that in the same context with the government. How come another human being is in charge of another human being's access to knowledge being even faulty? Well, that's my point here. I don't care if it's Russian propaganda or it's American propaganda. It's someone being in charge of someone else. And you're free. That's a veneer of freedom. Next one. New voice of Ukraine. Highly unlikely. UK trains 200 Ukrainian F-16 pilots. Expert says. You know how I like experts and analysts and people familiar with the matter and the issue or something like this. Well, I reached the same conclusion, but for different reasons. I saw that the Americans are not going to give the Ukrainians, we are not even in an alliance, the sophisticated F-16s and the Abrams tanks to operate, and the HIMARS and the Patriot. That's if you're an baboon, I can't find a worse term, you would believe that they would give that. Why? That could be driven or flown to Russia overnight, and those guys are going to get the technology right in front of them. That's the main thing. Why would you give them? The Americans don't give the Romanians access to their air systems. They don't give they have military bases that the Romanians don't have access, and located in Romanian territory. And they are in NATO, and Romania is occupied 100%. Militarily, politically, culturally, economically by these guys. Ukraine is not. Do you think we're going to give these guys, they can shift immediately, they can say, well, we're with Russia tomorrow. Romania, if they says, with Russia tomorrow, the guy who said it is going to be done, gone. If it is the government will be gone. So in Ukraine, they don't take a chance with those guys. All right, but this guy says this, the expert. It's extremely unlikely, and this is what he says. This must be some nonsense or misunderstanding, or perhaps it actually pertains to the number of ground crew personnel. He noted that F-16 jets are not even in service in the United Kingdom. I can make this assumption. Since pilots were mentioned, it might refer to cadets at various stages of early training who are very far indeed from being combat pilots, Sharp said. Even then, this number, 200 pilots, seem highly impressive. Most likely this includes different types of personnel in other fields and specializations related to aviation. Correct. That's extra from the angle I was looking at it. But he's right. All right, let's go to the next article. We are accomplices in our government's theft. New Voice of Ukraine. U.S. to provide Ukraine with $20 billion using Russian assets. And Russia says theft of sovereign assets now U.S. government policy. Moscow. President Joe Biden announced on Wednesday that frozen Russian funds will be leveraged to support Ukraine. All right, let me explain. I'm going to put it in the context of you. You have a problem with a neighbor. You have a problem with a neighbor over there. And you fight the neighbor. And you have some money in the bank, community bank, I don't know, let's say three counties far banks. So not next door, like it's a far bank. And I have my money over there. And I fight, I fight this guy here. Or I lended some money to some neighbors a while ago. I invested in their, properties. And I fight this neighbor here for various reasons. They say that I did this, I say no, they did this, and so on. And then those guys that have nothing to do, because these guys are not in an alliance with you, they're not your friends, they're nothing, supposedly not in NATO, not in the European Union. Those guys freeze my friends or my bank, freeze your assets, your investments that you gave. And you know what? I'm not going to give you back the money you lended me because you fight with a neighbor. And you say, but what does that have to do between me and you? There's two different relationships. Are you fucking Ukraine? Yeah, big time. So this is the way you go to a bank, and the bank with no jurisdiction, no authorities, no United Nations court order to stop that. There's no such a thing. So the county, the city will tell you, Emil, if you don't do that, we have to do this. No, there's some neighbors who decided unilaterally to hurt you. They're not your friends. What would you do? I think I would catch them somewhere in the middle of the night when I catch them come out, bang, 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 a little bit of massage, and then, where's my fucking money? This is just a, how do you call it? Gentle reminder. No, that's theft. That is 100% theft. First, you didn't have the right to freeze another country's assets, as bad as it is. And the second one, use that money and give it to whomever you want, your hookers and your baboons. No, we voted for this government or not, and they represent us. Good job. We're thieves. Next one. Bill Gates makes unprecedented 50 billion, oh my God, all his shit. A 50 million pledge to back Kamala Harris. This election is different. And in all these articles, you're going to find out he's an angel and it's a good cause. That means it's acceptable. Remember, this guy is an expert in the vaccines. He owns, I think it's the singular arable land in the United States of America. He's the biggest investor. So if he tomorrow says, I'm not going to plant anything on my land, we're fucked. This guy right here. So this guy, he's an angel, he's an expert in everything. He is going to invest, and all this article here, if you read it, is going to be how fantastic it is and how we need to do it. It's an emergency. The other guys are going to, all of us. That's what it is. And if you read the other articles on this guy, right here, Elon Musk. Everything is negative. Oh my God, he gets involved in this. See? The mere fact that these guys can give this much money to a campaign tells you how democracy really functions in our country. Elon Musk has given $75 million so far to put Donald Trump back in the White House. And if you read this, oh my God, he's a bad dude. The next one, the New York Times. Elon Musk donates legal maximum to Trump campaign. So 75 million, I'm guessing, is the whole thing. How much can you donate? $20. So whose voice do you think will be heard by the time the guy that you bet for is going to get elected? And this is the democracy, and we're supposed to fight. That's not democracy. This is an oligarchy right here. Next one. And Dr. Jai Shankar, the foreign minister of India, who I like very much. Not that way, but he's smart, he's bold, he's fast. I love him. Not the love, but I like him. According to Russia Today, BRICS is a quote-unquote statement of changing world order, India. That's true, only these baboons here play it down. I don't know exactly why. I think there are three, could be more, but I think the main ones are reasons. These guys are just incompetent. They live in a denial because they're terrorized, are a terror. Well, we fucked up. No, actually it's not. It doesn't happen. No, it doesn't happen. Or they're just incompetent, or they're weasels. They're sneaky. No, they play. Someone is making a profit somewhere, regardless. Someone can burn a village because one house. These could be the interest, like a banking system, military industrial complex, and energy systems. This sector, these guys will be a profitable industry forever, as booze and hookers. These guys are going to be always there because we are human beings. We're going to need a loan. We need money, which is created by pushing some zeros behind that, and they give you, and the money doesn't exist, not backed by gold. There's the first one. We're going to need energy. I mean, firewood, right? We're going to need something. Then we're going to need what? We're going to need weapons to defend our family from other baboons who want to take our resources. So these guys will always be there. So if they don't care, this interest, they don't care if this burns, most of it burns overnight, because guess who's going to reconstruct it? They will be the same guys, because these are necessities. All right, so let's see what Dr. Jai Shankar has to say. New Delhi has called for independent platforms to be strengthened and expanded to ensure equal access to progress. This economic, political, and cultural rebalancing has now reached a point where we can contemplate real multipolarity. The BRICS itself, it's a statement of how profoundly the old order, US order, is changing, Jai Shankar said. Got it? Many inequities of the past also continue. He identified unequal access to development resources and modern technology and efficiencies, very uneven. Well, you gotta work for that. The point is, yes, those guys are forming, this was a declaration in Kazan, Russia, of the formation of the Club of the Very Good versus Al Capone's plantation with its vassal states. That's what it is. And these guys, I covered it in a video earlier before this one, these guys are living in denial. Or they tell us, don't worry about it. It's very clear that the snowball is growing and growing and growing. And these guys say, don't worry. Why? They are covered, you and I are not. So don't worry, okay? Next one. Something that I said many times before, and I was right again. Not a medal for me, because that was easy. Russia Today. Pentagon explains refusal to change missile rules for Ukraine. I was, oh my God, let's see. So this baboon here defends the Secretary Lloyd Austin because he's stupid. Anyway, has defended, and the weasel, the decision to not allow Kiev launch long-range strikes on Russia using US weapons. And this is what he says. Austin explained that the Russians have already moved their aircraft beyond the range of attack MS. He added that Ukraine is now capable of producing its own drones, which can strike targets at a range of 400 kilometers or more. So that's more than 300 kilometers, this guy said, with attack MS. So basically, what I said, not basically, exactly, clearly, this is what it is. As I said, I don't have to tell them, they have their domestically built ones. Why? Because Zelensky said so. They said they developed something like 900 miles. So I said it, It was obvious. And the Russians are going to do what? And I said, when the Russians are going to say that was a American something made that hit, I don't know, Moscow or whatever, deep inside, these guys will say, no, that's not true, you're lying. Why? Because remember, Putin is a liar? Everybody said, yeah, we remember. Yeah, he's a liar. That's a lie. And the Russians, how can they prove? Show you some debris. You're not going to reach them. Why? Because Russia Today, Sputnik, RIA Novosti, and 14 other websites are going to be banned in your country for spreading Russian propaganda. Got that? Got that? All right, then, move on. Poland. I knew this was a dead horse before you said go. Russia Today, Poland ends demand for World War II reparations from Germany. Former Foreign Minister Radoslaw Sikorski, who's married to, go and check it out, I made a video yesterday, the day before, on his wife. Yes, she's from the tribe. Says Berlin should instead come up with a creative gesture to convince Warsaw it is sorry for Nazis' crimes. Again, the shaming tactic. My fellow Germans, you have no, how should I put it, you should not be sorry for anything. You have not done anything. Some other people did, but not you. This is not the Old Testament of the Judeo, okay? No, it's not. This is collective punishment and the guilt of 7 generations. Go and read. Over there, you are guilty now. Let's say your father is guilty of something, committed a crime. To the 7th generation, you're guilty, according to the Judeo, a Christian ideology. Not with the Roman that we have. No. It's changing. We make it Levantine. That's why I disagree with a Judeo-Christian. No, we're not Judeo-Christians. We are Greek and Roman civilization. That's what we are. But hey, these guys are in charge of us. They're going to change it towards their liking. So Sikorski says, how about you gotta be sorry? No, if Germany will say, we're sorry, then everybody's going to say, now you owe me. Do you think they're going to say, okay, like let's say right now with the reparations, let's say the US government would dare to say, we're sorry about this and now, for something that some other people did, not I. What do you think is going to be next day? You owe us $55 trillion for reparations. That's going to be the next move. So the first step the Germans will do to say, we're sorry, no, you're not sorry for anything. They were sorry and they're all dead. Screw you. What do you want to do? Do you want me to punish the current population of Germany for the crimes of some in the past? Yes. So Poland asked for $1.3 trillion. And I was like, and that's exactly what happens. All right. Don't forget, I must say something that the Poles don't like it. You sit on German territory. Ah! Don't shoot me. All right? And not only on Polish territory, on German territory. Move on. But you want reparations. All right, let's see how Pakistan switches hats. We'll see if it's going to be allowed. I'm expecting the guys who want to make the decisions will be overthrown by a military coup organized by you know who. Pakistan expects to join BRICS in near future. Pakistan expects to join BRICS in the near future. Coordinator to Pakistani Prime Minister on implementation and monitoring Rana Ishaan Afzal Khan told Sputnik on Thursday, and I'm quoting, well, Pakistan is hopeful and has requested BRICS to include Pakistan. I think in the near future we will be in BRICS, and obviously BRICS is a strong forum representing a major part of the world economy. So I think Pakistan should be part of BRICS, and we are hopeful that our request will be entertained. Are you not entertained? Pakistan has also looked into its own national security. That means I want this guy who protects me instead of this guy. This guy is a bad dude. If Russia is the partner with Pakistan on energy security, and if it is providing us cheap crude, we have the right to buy cheap crude from Russia, and so we can, lessen the economic burden of our people. Baby doll, Miss Khan, do you remember Mr. Khan, the former prime minister? He's arrested at this moment. Assassination attempts were conducted against him because he went and saw Putin and said, you know what, we're going to buy your oil, we're going to continue for the good of the people. And then in about 2 weeks, he got a no confidence vote from the parliament. And he was out and about. And now he's in prison. Good job. So Miss Khan and the guys in charge right now, I don't know exactly what they want, who they want to screw. Themselves, I guess. So yes, it's true that you have the right, but they will not let you. Because it's one thing they say, every country has the right to pick and choose and its own interest and so on. No, until that interest doesn't coincide with my order, you're allowed. Once you go left, right, I'll let you know. If you continue, I'm start threatening you. If you continue, I start blackmailing you. Sanctions and all. I find all kind of human rights violations first, so I can make my baboons feel very, yes, we're gonna help. And then the third one is gonna be regime change, and the baboons will say yes. And then the last one will be bombing, because the baboons will say, of course, the human rights violations over there. Yes, poor, and we're gonna find a group that was mistreated or seemingly mistreated. And then the guy's gonna intervene and bomb if the country is weak. If the country is strong, we're gonna have other countries fight them. Last topic here, like this one right here. Russia Today. Moscow believes West pushing ex-Soviet state into war. There is no reason to doubt claims made by the country's former Prime Minister, Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov has said, and this is the flag of Georgia. Moscow has seen no reason to doubt claims made by businessman and former Georgian Prime Minister Bidzina Ivanishvili that the West has explicitly asked Tbilisi to go to war with Russia, Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov said. The top diplomat made the remarks on Tuesday on the sidelines of the BRICS Group summit in Kazan. He had been asked to comment on Ivanishvili's statement by Russian daily Izvestia. I see no reason, I'm quoting, not to believe them. They, the Georgian leadership, invoked dialogues with Western countries, which directly encouraged them to take military action with Russia. I have no reason not to trust them. So here, earlier in the day, the former and honorary chairman of the ruling Georgian Dream Party, Ivanishvili, said the country's ex-prime minister, Irakli Garibashvili, told him that during his time in office, he had been approached by a senior Western official with a proposal to launch a war on Russia. I said it many, many times. Open a second front. Iraqi asked, yes, but for now, how many days do you think we will be able to fight? For 3 or 4 days, he was told. He said, and for the sake of these 3 or 4 days, you would destroy us? Ivanishvili told Georgian broadcaster Papapap. And he says here that Garibashvili then received an assurance that Georgians won't all get killed in the short conflict and could, and I'm going to start a guerrilla movement in the forest. My God! Right here, second front. Where is that located? Right here. This is the Black Sea. This is the Caspian Sea. Caspian Sea. Let's go to show you here where Ukraine is. Ukraine is here. The war is here. This is Crimean Peninsula. This is the Azov Sea. This is the Black Sea. So everything was going on. Let's see if I get it right. Is going on right here. Here you're going to find Georgia. Right here in this area, lower down here. Abkhazia, South Ossetia, and all that is Georgia there. So that will be here. Right here. This is the lower part of here. So this area in the corner is this one right here. Abkhazia and so on. So this is Georgia. Let me show my face. Ta-da! Okay. So this is the Caucasus. They wanted to open a second Georgian front right here for 2 days or 3. Not all the Georgians will die. I told you these guys are going to use you Romanians and you Poles like bitches. Because why? They're not criminals. They're not criminals. So how would Georgia be helped? I said this many, many times. They tried to do the same thing in Armenia. And I said, Armenia cannot do that without Georgia, because the only place that these guys can receive any weapons is through the Black Sea, even though the Russians will impose a blockade right here 100%. Turkey will not help Armenia 100%. Iran will not help. Azerbaijan is not helped. Kazakhstan is not helped over the Caspian Sea. And Dagestan is not. Islam Makachev and whatever his name is not gonna. They're not gonna help you. Chechnya is not, obviously. So this is the second front, and I think. Remember, it started with this, with the so-called Russian law, the foreign agent law that Americans imposed in 1930s. The Russians imposed it in 2000 something, and it's the Russian law. That is, you have to register as a foreign agent if you have an NGO with money coming from outside more than 20% of your income, of your So let's say you have $100 billion, let's say funded. If you have $20 billion coming from the US government or from whomever from outside, you're going to say, I received $20 billion from those sources, which I think is 100% fair, because these guys sometimes work against governments, and governments are elected by the people, therefore they work against the people. So no, especially when you're funded by outside interests. I think it's only logical. So that they had demonstrations, violent, and these guys smack them and they put them back. They do it again right now in Georgia because there are elections over there, and they have to vote on some laws that the West doesn't like. The same thing happened in Ukraine, and they overthrew a legitimate government of Viktor Yanukovych in 2014. The same thing. And then you ask, oh, the Russians should just stay and watch these guys crumble. These guys take over, brings their air defense systems against them, and they should be okay with that. But the United States will not be okay with the same scenario, just being reversed. Now, why? Why would you? Fuck you, I'm gonna smack you. But that's the way it works. So with the world rule-based order, that's a blah, 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 blah for the baboons. I and Israel and other maybe 2 or 3 countries can take a shit on all that whenever they want. And why do you think Israel can do that? You know. All right, here it is, my friends. I was right with that one too, and I continue to maintain and claim that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.